Hi everyone, Chad from American Motoring here. I just wanted to do a quick video to talk about a situation that happened recently with my Ford Focus RS. Um, I've got the letter, I think it's right here. Disaster. I got recall letter. I actually had two of them. I think, yep, two of them. One is for, I believe, for my GT500, the 2014 GT500, and then this one is for the Ford Focus RS. So the GT500 was to have the it had an airbag recall, I guess, and the Ford Focus RS, excuse me, was to have the head gasket tested for possible leaks because of the issue with the head gasket leaking in RS models. So I decided that the first one I wanted to do was the RS to make sure that was okay. And so they did a pressure test overnight and it failed. So it had to have the um, head gasket replaced. Now that, let's see, I took it in on a Tuesday. On a Wednesday they told me it failed. And then it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I picked it up. So basically, they ended up having it 6 days. And I thought, I've got the Shelby. I'll just drive that, so I won't use the rental service because Ford had authorized a rental car. So I thought, you know, I felt, I know maybe this isn't true. I felt I was doing them a favor by not taking the rental because it would have been a lot easier to take the rental, but I didn't because I thought, oh, it's nice because it doesn't cost them. I don't know. Maybe I was stupid. But the dealer I went to get all this done is since I'm complaining, I don't really want to say their name, but they're an SVT dealership, and in my head, a Ford SVT dealership, because they aren't all that. They're not every Ford dealership is an SVT dealership. Only some of them are. So since they were an SVT dealership, in my head, I felt that meant that I would take my car to them and they would treat it as I would treat my car. I'm not saying treat it special because it's an RS or treat it special because it's a Shelby. I'm just saying, respect it like I would and don't just I don't I'll explain. So, I take it in. They had it 6 days. So that was an inconvenience, I'll say, because I was being a nice guy and I was driving my Shelby instead of the RS as my daily, and which is cool. I enjoy driving it, but that thing sucks gas like crazy, and my drive is like an hour or something. So I was like, just giving it gas, and so that kind of knocked my budget a bit. But so they said, you can come pick it up. So I go on a Tuesday to pick up the RS, and my girlfriend drops me off. So I'm standing there and I'm looking around and I'm waiting and waiting, waiting. Finally, a service guy is like, "Okay, can I help you?" And I said, "I'm here to pick up my Focus RS." And they're like, "Oh, okay." He'll bring it. Some guy will bring it around. So they bring it around, and some kid he gets out, hands me the keys, and starts to walk away. And I'm like, "Hey, did is there anything I need to know about it? I mean, um, do I need to like drive a certain way or be careful of anything?" And he just looked at me and goes, "I don't know. I didn't work on it." Like, okay. So I wait and I talk to the service guy who is helping some other people, and I said, "Did the oil get changed?" And he goes, I don't know. And I said, I assume it did because they changed the head gasket. They probably had changed the oil because it needed an oil change. It was due for an oil change. He was just like, I don't know, it'd be on the paperwork. So I look at the paperwork. Yeah, it had, of course, had the oil changed. So I walk out to my car, and it's filthy. It's absolutely filthy. It's like it had been super dusty, it looked like, and then it rained, and it was just like running all down it. So there's like just rain streaks and dirt all over it, and then the top had bird crap all over it, and they just gave it back to me that way. And I mean, like I said, I don't expect special treatment, but wash the customer's car. You kept it 6 days for a recall that wasn't the customer's fault. It was Ford's fault. Ford did this. They screwed up. Wash the car when you give it back to them. Come on. So I get in to start it up, and it's got a half a tank of gas. Now, it wasn't full when I took it in there, but fill the customer's car up. You inconvenienced them, Ford. You screwed up in the manufacturing. You inconvenienced them. Wash their car. Fill their tank with gas. Kind of a sorry we screwed up. I felt I got a here's your keys, get out. So I didn't make a big deal out of it, and I wasn't going to. I was just like, okay, whatever, whatever, whatever. You know, I expect too much. I thought an SVT dealership would treat your car like you would, and they didn't. So, so I was just like, okay, whatever. I got my car back, took it, immediately got it washed, filled the tank with gas. Okay, done. Then I get a survey in the mail from Ford, and it's like, how was your experience? And I was like, my experience was crap. I said mechanically it was fine. Now, not to get too crazy about that because it does have a really odd idle until because when you start the car up, the idle's high and it's kind of and then once the idle drops, then it's fine and back to normal. So that's weird. That's a new weird thing. But the car drives fine and everything seems fine. So mechanically, it's fine. They did the work. Okay. And I said that in the survey. I was like, the work's done, seemed mechanically fine, but I didn't like this, I didn't like this, I didn't like this. And I thought, there. I said my piece and it's over. So I get a call from the dealership. And they said it was from the guy that I had dealt with at the service desk when I first brought the car in. He wasn't there when I picked it up. And he says in the message that he didn't say he was sorry. He didn't say, oh, we're sorry you were upset. He said, I saw the survey. I wasn't there when you picked the car up. The survey reflects bad on me because on him because it was his ticket. And he has to answer for the ticket of the customer. So he said that reflects bad on me. So they didn't say, we're sorry. How can we make it up for you? It was like I had screwed up. Like I wrote the wrong thing because it looks bad on him and it wasn't his fault. I'm like, screw you. I don't care. Didn't reply, didn't call him back. And then I get another call the next week from a different guy. And he's like, oh, we want to make it right. We want to make it right. All this stuff. And I don't want to talk to him. I'm kind of done with them at this point. And he says, well, I'll send you an email if you want to respond by email. I'm like, okay, I'll respond to him by email. And I said, explain the whole thing. And I explained that when I got sent the survey from Ford, it wasn't saying, how did this guy Brian do, who called and was complaining that I had said the wrong things in the survey and it looks bad on him. I said, it didn't ask how Brian did, it asked how the dealership did. And that's how I answered it. And he said, yeah, but it does reflect on Brian, and he wasn't responsible for it. But he was responsible for it. If it reflects badly on Brian, that's because the dealership put Brian in charge of that situation so that Brian has to make sure the customer's happy, and Brian didn't. So I said to this other guy, like, I don't know what your policy is, but here's how I got the car back. It was a filthy mess, had bird crap on it, all this stuff. And he said, generally, we don't wash the cars after a service is done. So, okay, so that sucks. I don't like that. So, you know, I would be, I guess, a little weirder about it if it was my Shelby. Maybe I don't want them touching my Shelby. But the Focus, wash the cars, run it through the car wash. And they don't do that normally. It wasn't like they forgot. They just don't do it. So they keep a customer's car. It sits in their garage getting covered in dirt. They park it outside getting rained on, and then they just go here. I don't I don't get that because when I was back and so right now I'm living in Ontario, Canada. When I was back in the States living in Wisconsin, I would pull in to get anything done, and they're just like, "Hey, how's it going, Chad? Oh, it's so good to see you. What do you need?" My car would come back awesome every time. That's called customer service. Where did that go? I don't know where it went. So anyway, this guy begged me to please. He said you're going to get another survey from Ford asking if they fixed it, and if you could make it look good, it would really help this Brian guy. And I'm at a loss. They didn't really say they're sorry. He's like, well, we want to make it up to you, so I'll give you a credit for a car wash in detail. And I said, you live 40 minutes away from me. I don't care about that. You, I you guys just screwed up, and I just want a sorry. And they never gave me a sorry. They gave me a credit for a car wash. He's like, we don't want to lose you as a customer. And like, then say you're freaking sorry. Admit you screwed up. Nope. Nope. So he said, well, maybe you can use the car wash when you bring your Shelby in for the recall. Like, I'm not taking my Shelby. I'm not taking my Shelby there for the recall. So I'm going to have to find somewhere else to get the recall done. Or just don't do it because it's an airbag. And taking the whole dash apart, there's a chance putting it back together and thing could make it just rattle. And so I don't know if I'll even do it. But so anyway, that was a little bit of a rant that I wanted to just get off my chest. So there you go. Thanks for listening, guys.